Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says his NDP isn't taking anything for granted as the party gears up early for an election still 2 years away. Speaking at the provincial NDP convention in Brandon, Kinew said the party's been riding high in the polls and seeing strong fundraising and donation numbers. Recent surveys show support for the NDP has grown since winning 34 of 57 seats in the October 2023 election. Now let's bring in political analyst Lori Williams. Lori, thank you for joining me this morning. Scott Moe received the vote of confidence from the Saskatchewan party. Your thoughts on that?
Well, not surprising that he received a vote of confidence. They are doing a little bit better in the polls than they were in the last election. They're hoping to pick up seats in the next election. The reality is that the map is really difficult for anybody but the Saskatchewan party to win. Those declines, though, in the last election, I think, are being taken seriously. I'm a bit surprised they didn't give the actual number. They're saying it's over 80%, but they're not willing to actually give the number. It's a bit odd. But again, there's all kinds of advantage for the Saskatchewan party in Saskatchewan, just like in Alberta. That rural-urban divide does give the incumbents a huge advantage there.
Lori, how unusual is it for a premier to have 5 majority governments and still win another leadership vote?
Well, given what happened in the last election, have this kind of support in this leadership vote, I think, is a bit unusual. That's probably the more surprising thing here. If you're doing well, again, given the electoral map, things work pretty well and stably for the Saskatchewan party in that province. But to actually pick up support from the last election forward. It's good news for the party, bad news for the opposition.
Let's talk about the seat losses in 2 major cities. What do you anticipate for Premier Moe's plan moving forward on that?
Well, he's got to address the issues that were huge, front and center: teachers, classroom sizes. We're seeing this in other places as well. Healthcare is also going to be another one that will challenge ongoing. And again, these are points of vulnerability that if they aren't addressed, things don't start to improve. That incumbency becomes a bit more of an albatross around a government's neck rather than an advantage. So unless they address some of the concerns that people are looking for changes on, then it could still be challenging for them in spite of their map advantage.
Lori, let's switch gears to Premier Wab Kinew, who is signaling an election in Manitoba. What do you think are the politics behind that?
Well, what it looks like what he's trying to do is make inroads into areas where he didn't have support, particularly in rural Manitoba. I mean, he's the most popular premier, probably leader in the country right now. He's actually increased support. His party is bringing in triple the fundraising that the Conservatives are. He's in a very, very strong position, and I think it's to his credit, actually, that he's trying to reach out and expand his support, not just to win an election, but to actually reach out and connect with Manitobans that may not have been completely enamored of him in the last election.
So you're saying an early election would be good for Premier Kinew?
Well, it certainly looks that way, but unless things start to shift, there's no reason for him to call an early election. His party's doing well. He's doing well. He looks like he's trying to build broader support, and as long as that continues to move in the right direction, then there's no hurry for him to call an election.
Okay, thank you so much, Lori. That is Lori Williams, political analyst.